Hey guys, what's up? I'm Destiny and this is my YouTube channel, Destination Productions. Today I wanted to review the new Gotham Pilot, which aired on September 22nd on Fox. There's a lot I want to cover in this video, so let's just get started. Being completely honest, I was originally skeptical about the show and what it was going to bring to the table, but I instantly loved the idea of a prequel. We never really had seen that before in the cinematic universe or on television aside from Smallville, and to be honest, I think that they should have done a prequel, well, another one, because Smallville did so well, and I think that's another huge reason to the success of the show, and I'm really excited that we get to see like a younger Bruce Wayne. Going off of that fact, I love that it's being told from Detective Gordon's point of view. From what I can tell, Benjamin McKenzie does a really good job playing James Gordon. His acting all the way through the pilot was really amazing, and I loved him as Detective Gordon so far. Jada Pinkett Smith, on the other hand, which is the big bad of the season who plays Fish Mooney, did a stellar job. I'm just blown away by her acting skills in this particular setting. Jada plays a mob boss that works for Falcone. You may have seen Falcone in various DC platforms such as DC Universe Online or even in the comic books. Along with Falcone, there's some iconic villains in Gotham such as Catwoman, the Riddler, Penguin, and Poison Ivy. They were all younger than what we're used to, but once again, this is a prequel to before Batman stepped into his role. Now that we've covered all that, I want to get right into the actual episode. From this point forward, my video will contain spoilers from the Gotham Pilot, so this is your one and only warning right now. If you didn't catch it, Catwoman was at the very beginning. She stole a carton of milk and pickpocketed some guy's wallet. Another thing was that she saw Bruce's parents get murdered in the alleyway, and I thought that was a very interesting way to link Batman to Bruce, because eventually they're going to have to interact in some way, and I thought that was just a brilliant way to have them connect to each other. The Riddler is another villain that we saw in the pilot. He was the man that they took the bullets to have it investigated for forensic evidence. He actually works in Gotham City, like the Gotham City Police Department, so we're going to get to see a lot more of him soon. His whole appearance, which probably didn't even last 5 minutes, he was speaking in tongues for most of the time, you know, his little riddles. But the real eyebrow raiser to me was when Gordon actually got the riddle correct. I thought that was just like a really cool side fact. Moving right along, we have Poison Ivy. She was the little girl who opened the door for Detective Gordon and his partner when they came to investigate Ivy's father as the possible murderer of the Waynes. He ended up being shot and killed by Detective Gordon's partner, Detective Bullock. The last main villain we see in the pilot is the Penguin. He was throughout the entire episode and plays a bigger part than all the other villains that were previously mentioned. He works for Fish Mooney, and he also told the two detectives that she had the pearls Martha Wayne was wearing before being murdered. Gordon later on saves his life by throwing him into water instead of killing him. Now that we have the breakdown of all the villains, I want to go through and give you my top 5 moments of this episode. Starting with number 1, I thought that Penguin's big reveal was a huge thing. Just by him telling Detective Montoya and her partner that Fish Mooney had the pearls that Martha Wayne was wearing before she got murdered was huge. That's just like a really shitty thing, and for him to already be this shady just in the pilot episode just shows you where this is gonna go. Throughout this episode, there have been many examples of how corrupt not only the Gotham City Police Department is, but only inside their own gangs and stuff, how corrupt and untrustworthy everyone is. I think that was just like a little bit too much too soon, but then again, this is Gotham, and this is basically what the city is all about before Batman steps into that role. And even when he does, the city is still really shady and it's in dire need of help. My number 2 moment was when Detective Montoya came to visit Barbara Gordon, who is currently engaged to Detective Gordon. And she said something like, "Does he know you like I do?" Now, this means really one thing. If you haven't read the comic books, Detective Montoya is actually a lesbian character. In the comic book, she was actually a love interest for Kate Kane, who was the original Batwoman, and the statement could also be hinting towards Barbara becoming Batwoman, but more on this on my next video that I'm going to be posting soon. My third moment was the comedy club. If you guys didn't know, they were just going to be bringing a slew of comedians through the club, and Fish Mooney is going to be auditioning them. This is basically just like a tease for who the Joker could be. Not that I ever think we would see him on the show as the Joker. My next moment, number 4, I believe, is when Detective Gordon actually stops everyone in the police department from killing the man who had the woman hostage. I thought it was brilliant the way he handled that in such a equitable manner, and nobody had to be shot. With that being said, there was also another moment in the pilot when he had the chance to shoot and kill Ivy's father, but didn't take the chance. This is just, to me, like a little hint or a little foreshadowing about Batman's gun violence and about how he doesn't really use guns. You can tell by just in the comics and even in the various movie adaptations and even in the animated films and cartoons, you never really see him with a gun, and I feel like this is just like kind of pointing towards that. So my number 5 moment isn't really from this episode. It's actually the title of next week's episode that I want to talk about. It's entitled Selena Kyle. For those of you who don't know, Selena Kyle is actually Catwoman's real name. So next week we will get to see, this is basically her episode. We get to see a little bit more on her, and hopefully maybe she'll even interact with Bruce at some point, or even one of the other villains at some point during this episode. That would be my number 1 hope. That's all I have for the video on the Gotham Pilot, but please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment down below about what villain you're most excited to see. Catwoman, Riddler, Penguin, or Poison Ivy. To be honest, I think I'm most excited for the Penguin, and that's just because we've got to see the most of him and what his story arc is going to be this season, but it'll probably change throughout. So thank you guys all for watching my videos. I hope you enjoyed it, and please make sure to subscribe, that way you can see more of me. I'm hosting another video in a couple of days, so be on the lookout for that. And I also am going to be doing weekly videos for the other 3 DC Comics shows that are going to be on TV, which is The Flash, Arrow, and Constantine, so I'm really excited for those. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week.